Thanks for joining us. I am Joel Stashenko. I am chairman of the board of Substance Abuse Information Resources. SAIR is a not-for-profit group dedicated to helping those being adversely affected by alcohol, drugs, and other behavioral health issues. Following are excerpts of a conversation I had with Greg Spencer, founder and executive director of SAIR. Greg has spent more than 30 years working as a clinician, consultant, and program developer in the substance misuse and disorder field. He has been in recovery for alcoholism since 1984. In our recent discussion, Greg shares some thoughts about the misuse of alcohol and drugs. They include taking personal responsibility to make the changes needed to overcome substance misuse and addiction. The use of 12-step programs is a highly recommended option to support recovery. The need to avoid isolating and to reach out to give and to get support from others. The message to those being affected by the user that they must take care of themselves first in order to be mentally healthy.
Needs to be emphasized over and over and over again. That's personal responsibility. I can't get sober for you. Your brother can't get sober for you. You've got to get sober for yourself. And the personal responsibility comes in with you have to do what needs to be done for you to stop drinking or drugging. And we have answers for you that may help. You have options. There are ways for you to do it. What works for one person may not work for another. And that's why we want to be able to give you those options, because somebody might say, well, if you don't go to Alcoholics Anonymous, you're not going to make it. And that's not true. You know, it can be a real asset. It can be a real option for you that will help you get and stay sober. But I've seen many people go into AA and get clean and sober and then they just stopped going for one reason or another. They might get connected with the church. One thing we found that the chances are very slim of saying alcohol and drug free if you isolate. If you don't have something to do, if there isn't some structure in your life, if there isn't a reason for you to stay clean and sober, chances are you're going to use again.
Why is that?
I think the thing is that part of being an alcoholic and an addict is we're always searching for something. We're searching for some kind of peace of mind. We're searching for relief from pain, a feeling of wanting to do something that's worthwhile, wanting to belong, wanting to be respected, wanting to like ourselves, wanting to have a sense of hope. As I talk, I can get emotional, which I love doing, incidentally. But this is what we're trying to do, is to reach out to you behind that camera and say, you know something, you've got a lot of options out there. You never have to be alone again. You don't have to do this alone. You can do this by going to 12-step meetings. You can find other people. You can go to your pastor. You can go to church.
Why do you think people isolate in the first place?
I think for a couple of reasons. One of it has to be very low self-esteem. They don't like themselves. They're embarrassed. They don't feel comfortable around other people because they don't feel they're worthy of. They don't think they're worthy of being somebody's friend. That people won't like them. One thing that I know that kids, when they start growing up, from an early age, if certain kids get involved in school, for example, and other kids make a lot of fun of them, and all of a sudden they're out, they're not in the group, they don't fit in. It reinforces the fact that there's something wrong with them, that they're defective, and all of a sudden you come and you find this magic elixir, whether it's alcohol or drugs, that when you put that in your system, it hits the brain, tells the brain, whoa, I like this person now. I am smart, I am funny, I am good looking, I am, and what it does is the chemical hijacks the brain in a good way, temporarily anyway. And that's why we get hooked on it. I think this is the kind of message that we want to carry on our videos. It's not so much the clinical, but people who are the family members, for example, want to know why do they drink, why do they drug, because along the way somehow, for whatever the reason is, they're looking for something that is missing in their lives, and they find that there's a way to get it by using those chemicals because they work for a while. And
have you noticed in your history as a clinician that it's the tendency of the non-addicted person to blame themselves for the addicted person's problems?
Not necessarily. A lot of times with kids, with younger kids, feel responsible. I should be able to do something to help mom or dad. As you get older, in many cases, you become resentful. You become hardened. You become aware of the fact that you have to take care of yourself because it is that person's problem, and I can't fix them. I've tried to help. I've tried to do everything I possibly can. And that's where you start distancing yourself from the person, from the addict, the alcoholic, which then creates, in many cases, more of a reason for them to isolate from you, why they hide their drinking, why they don't come home, why they don't want to get in arguments, why they isolate and go down and sit and watch television by themselves with a hidden bottle in the cellar. All of those things which are so common in a certain element, not in every house, but the pattern is very consistent in certain cases, and there's that transition away from healing or curing, or you burn the person out. I can use that as my example. But in some cases, I should be able to fix them, and that's why you have the option of going to Al-Anon. I didn't cause it, I can't cure it, I can't control it. The 3 C's, and that's what they teach you over and over and over again, and it's reinforced by people who have been through what you've been through in many cases.
How is Al-Anon different than AA?
Al-Anon is telling you to take care of yourself, that you're not responsible for that other person. You're there for yourself. You're there to find out what you have to do to be okay and get by and do what you have to do, not to fix the other person. Or if you do have to do something, one of the things that you do is you can detach through love. In other words, you make that other person responsible. You learn to make that other person responsible for the consequences that are occurring in their life.